Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in and I hope that you enjoy this New Year's opening episode. I'm Anthony from Hell Donuts and I thought I would bring you a special episode for 2023. I know it's been over a week, so thank you for staying with me on this rugby league journey. So what am I bringing you today? Well, it's quite simple. My thoughts on the IMG, RFL and Super League partnership and what I think needs to happen as there are only 38 days left until Super League kicks off. The global marketing company IMG joined with the powers that be in Rugby League last year to drag the sports potential of the sports that we love out of it. So that everyone knows what great a sport that you, me and everyone that loves the sport know it is. They have a plan for the sport and I'm putting across my ideas on what should and could happen during this change. As I said, these are my ideas and some of them are out there already for fan discussions and I have spin on it for you guys, my own spin that is. I hope you enjoy, but before we begin, please remember to like, subscribe, as well as commenting on the ideas put forward in the comment section what you think might happen in the IMG RFL Super League era. But remember, keep the comments respectful. So let's begin. Number 1, stand by their grading system. If IMG are recognised as a force in Rugby League and want to utilise their plan to grow the sport, they must be clear about their grading system and the plan, as well as being able to stick with it throughout. As we know, Rugby League fans and clubs are very fickle when it comes to the sport. Any slight we feel it's against us usually sees us jump on social media to voice our concerns and threaten boycotts the sport and try to gather support in others to bring them to the same way of our thinking. So what would we need to do to negate the issues for IMG? First, the ideas of the grading system, whether a club is A, B or C level organisation to what IMG feel it is, must be set in stone for 12 years, the full 12 years of the deal, or possibly more if IMG sees value in our sport and extends the deal. The guys at the top need to back this wholeheartedly and not kowtow to the booking of clubs or fan groups for the period. We saw it a little bit with the real changes for disciplinary issues. As the clubs booked a little about the amount of players sent off, the sport eased off those changes and went a bit softer when it came to accidental hits and suspensions and things like that. Anyway, by all means have quarterly and half-year meetings with clubs, media partners and sponsors to listen to their concerns, but do not be reactive. Consult over it and set targets to adjust ideas for revenue, growth of the team fan base and also partner up with advertisers for the sport. Do not change that grading structure. It's aspirational. There are teams still looking at that. I'll give you an example later on in the video. The fans are the lifeblood of the team of these clubs, but they shouldn't be in the decision-making process. The fans have different ideas no matter what. IMG must stay at the top. By all means, tell the fans what the grading criteria is. Then we, like all the rest of the fans, will be able to understand the way the clubs should be looking in IMG's eyes to maximise the sports potential that is for all of us to see. The IMG way. We are told that the criteria will be released in February of this year for clubs to know, but fans should be copied into that way of thinking. As we know, the fans will then bitch and moan about it, but at least they will know what the thinking of IMG is. has for the image of the sport. There's much more to look at this stage to try and find the grades for each club. We see some teams that have great facilities and tops, and the standard then drops, even at Super League level. Then there are some clubs without a permanent home, well outside their home base. Example, Swinton Lions. They're on the other side of Manchester compared to where the town of Swinton is. It's just one of those things that happened. We need to improve these aspects, and IMG can look to help that with in many different ways. I will repeat, I do not want IMG to change their stance on the grading system, as clubs have had too much power in the past, and Super League and the RFL need to show the bottle to keep the game on the new tracks until we make sport hopeful at destination. Number 2, boast about our stars. We have stars in our game, no doubt about it, and they should be elevated to those known in the other code, and also accessible to, and should be made accessible to the media. We are trying to elevate their and the sport's standing as a sport that everyone should watch. We've seen this happen. What can happen with sports, with the World Cup bringing a new audience, along with the likes of the wheelchair tournament, and the fantastic effort the women's game is doing in their quest to be full-time. There is still some effort going on with them, as York and Leeds are leading the charge for that parity to become full-time professionals. The men's game needs to jump on the promotional bandwagon though, and court talent agencies to help profile of our stars. Then they can be helped in getting their profiles across. Look at the likes of former Castleford Tigers player Jack O'Neill. He went out on his own, got a place on Celebrity Love Island, and rocketed his profile to the moon. In rugby league terms, that is. Another man who thinks this is rugby league agent Craig Harrison of the Show Me the Money UK podcast. He went on to say in that, Harrison wants young stars of rugby league to be included in the latest trends on social media, such as TikTok and YouTube. The young lads we've got in the game should be all over social media, Harrison said on the Show Me the Money Rugby League TV podcast. If IMG has got anything about them, they need to grab 10 or 12 of the young kids and make them superstars out of the likes of Mikey Lewis, Jake Truman and Morgan Smithies. I'd go into their homes, I'd absolutely spend thousands on marketing 12 or 15 of the best young players in the competition. I would smash YouTube content. You've got to have someone organising their schedule and go to events and YouTube meetings. Get them everywhere and then attract the young people. Once they're all got that big following, bring them back to our game and say they are the future of our sport. IMG have to grab them now. Every one of those young players who do well will go to the NRL. Seen with 2 already. They've at IMG got us to smell the coffee and grab them and get 4 or 5 year deals at their current clubs, giving centralised money if necessary. Go and get Mikey Lewis and Jake Truman playing against each other on different platforms like football does, with skill shows. Unless they do something quickly, they are on broken glass. I don't think IMG, realise the magnitude of where they are, and when it hits them, it will be like a rock. I've read this statement a couple of times and listened to the podcast. He's completely correct. These kids are top notch and far behind other quality players in the other respective sports at the same talent level. The Mikey Lewis one boggles me. Yes, he's been injured and out for most of 2022, but when he burst onto the scene in 2021, we should have been looking at him as a top prospect who could lead the sport image-wise for the next decade. with coaches helping him on the field, and TV shows and advertising campaigns helping his stock rise UK-wide, rather than just in the east part of Hull. There are opportunities that are being missed, with we only get 3 representative slots on the likes of Question and Sport a year. No real-time primetime exposure is used other than this. This needs to be looked at and improved too. At number 3, the aesthetic view of Rugby League. There's a lot to unpack on this one, so I'm going to just skim the top, as the image of Rugby League can be best looked at through the movie starring Richard Harris called It's Sporting Life, a 1963 film portraying the life of a rugby league player. It was the scene of terraced housing in smog-filled north, with the essence of flat cabs and whippets in the UK. That is what is still how many still see the sport as. Its parochial nature is the one that stops cash, attention and reputation needed to make the sports past just that. That will all come with the redevelopment of stadia and training facilities, which many clubs have talked about for many years now. Wakefield are a club that have started their process for Bellevue, with the East Stand demolished and the renovations of the North Terrace stand. The downside is there's still a lot to do. While the efforts are so far an improvement, it seems like, I'm afraid, that Wakefield fans are getting the cheapest option. I'm afraid to say that, Wakefield fans. While the East Stand is going like gangbusters, once it's redeveloped though, there is still the obvious problem, as this is going to be the view of the West Stand. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Wakefield are not the only one in Super League in this position. Their neighbours Castleford have been in the holding phase of their journey, with new plans being reportedly submitted for Weldon Road. But there is no real confirmation of that being anywhere near starting. Looking from the outside, I see that the council funding was put together and received by the clubs in that area, with Wakefield the only one doing anything with it. Are Castleford scared of losing any of its matchday revenue? Their upturn of attendances recently may have them fearing the loss of the income if they demolish any of the stands that the Jungle has currently. Why do I mention this? Well, it goes back to the parochial nature of our sport, only wanting to keep what they've got, not looking to expand or lose power. This IMG deal and restructure of the league is forcing them to change, and this is causing them, I think, to panic a little. I'm not picking on Castleford for anything other than the Jungle. To me, that is a Grade C stadium in the IMG grading type system, with a Grade A club with a setup and a player development and academy, and a Grade A fan base. This is why I think the rumours of the IMG thinking that there was only 4 or 5 Grade A clubs, according to reports, could be correct. But I'd like to think there are more like 6 clubs, with the 2 Hull clubs, Wigan, Saints, Leeds and Warrington. But I can see why there are possibly ideas to the contrary. It's due to the status of some teams' academies and women's teams' league status at this moment in time. We'll have to wait and see. If there are 6 places, and maybe more, as I would like to a 14 team league up for grabs for Grade B teams, this is an aspirational decision for expansion teams. London have been sounded out in reports as a huge market, and it needs to succeed for Rugby League to go into. 2 teams from London maybe, or 1 from there, 1 from Bristol or Oxford, could possibly generate a rivalry down south, which would contribute to creating a decent interest. But with Midlands Hurricanes being able to call the Alexander Stadium their home in 2023, could a B grade be heading to Birmingham and a Super League spot in 2024 to follow suit? And that's my episode all well and done for another day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the future. Tell me what your ideas are for 2023 and the IMG deal going forward in the comment section below. It's open for business and it's just my ideas at the end of the day. And I'd like some other ideas of what could transpire in the future. Again, I'll just say thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I'll also end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the very best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.